Welcome to World at Work TV. I'm Allison Avalos, and I'm joined today by Rose Stanley, Practice Leader for World at Work. And we're here to finish up our series on variable pay plans, talking most specifically about recognition programs and spot awards. Rose, in our previous segments, we've talked about incentive plans and bonus programs. Can you talk about what recognition plans are and how they differ from the other two types of programs we've mentioned?
Sure, Allison. Recognition programs differ from bonus and incentive programs in that they do not have a predetermined goal or objective to them. They're much more spontaneous, and what their goal is to try to tie the recognition to specific behaviors, to specific performances. Another piece that's really important about recognition programs that's different from bonus and incentive programs is that they do not have much of a budget, that they are easier to implement and maintain, and that they are given after the fact of a performance for an individual. Now, some examples might include something as simple as a thank you, all the way up to a travel voucher. You may want to give an employee a gift or some merchandise for a milestone anniversary. You might want to give an employee a day off for perfect attendance, or recognize an employee with a cash award for being able to come up with a suggestion that saves the company some money. So these are all different types of things that recognition programs can do and how they differ from incentive and bonus programs.
So recognition programs have more of an individual component to them, whereas incentives and bonuses may have individual components as well as department, team, organizational goals and targets that you're trying to meet. I know we've done many surveys in the space of recognition. What are the most common recognition plans in use today?
According to the 2013 Trends in Recognition Report, the top 5 programs that organizations are utilizing are length of service, above and beyond performance, peer-to-peer recognition, programs to motivate specific behavior, and retirement recognition programs. In addition to that, the top 5 awards that organizations are giving are certificates and plaques, cash, gift certificates, company logo merchandise, and food. Now, compared to bonus and incentive programs, part of the uniqueness of the awards that are being given is that they can be very personal. Now let's go to 2 specific types of recognition programs that I wanted to touch on today. And one of them is the spot bonus. And spot bonus is exactly as it sounds. It's done spur of the moment or on the spot. And it follows behavior of an individual or a team that has performed to a significant level. So if you see that an employee is doing something that you want to recognize, you want to do that on the spot. If you have a team that's on a long-term project, what you may want to do is actually look to intervals or significant milestones that you want to recognize those employees with and give them a spot award. Now, most spot awards are actually cash awards, and they are usually budgeted. Now, what we're finding is that in spot awards, for those that are managers or supervisors or professionals, the typical award usually tends to be between $2,500 and $5,000. For executives and those that are in senior management, we're typically seeing that their spot award is $5,000 or above. And all of the other employees typically will see an award between $1,000 and $2,500. One of the other ones that I wanted to talk about was actually the year-end bonus. And one of the reasons that I wanted to actually talk about it was because many times organizations feel a desire to give something to their employees at the end of the year or during the holiday season, and it's a way to acknowledge the employees' contributions during the year, but it's not tied to anything specific. Now, sometimes they may give cash, sometimes they may give a turkey or a ham, sometimes it's even stock or gift cards or gift certificates. But one of the things that you really want to be careful with this type of program is what kind of precedent that you're setting. is this program really a recognition award, or is it a gift? And how will employees view that, especially if you're going to be doing that year after year?
So when we look across the different types of recognition programs, we see a lot of variety in terms of why the programs are used, perhaps, as you mentioned, to recognize various milestones, tenure with an organization, but also programs that encourage certain behaviors, certain performance that ultimately lead to organizational success. And in particular, with the spot bonuses, it sounds like there's really a discretionary element there in terms of management looking for opportunities to reward employees for a variety of things that they may be doing to contribute. And that's a bit different than incentives and bonuses, as we've talked about in our other segments, where you do have a prescribed target, a very specific goal that you're trying to achieve.
Right, and you're really looking for an opportunity to recognize that individual or that team member, and to really create an opportunity for that employee or that team to keep going with that behavior, to enhance that behavior. You want to make sure that you're giving that, like it's been said, on the spot, because it helps reinforce that type of behavior, and you really want that in order to meet the goals that your organization has set forward.
One of the things that I've always been drawn to with recognition programs is they provide a nice complement to other incentive and bonus programs, because there are rewards and acknowledgement of the behaviors that an organization wants to see in its employees that sometimes may not achieve the goal or the desired result that's necessary with an incentive or bonus, but you can still have a program to encourage that behavior, encourage that attitude, keep the organization headed in the right direction.
Absolutely.
What are some of the pros and cons of using recognition programs?
Well, some of the advantages we've already talked about. Using your recognition programs right after the fact of the behavior really helps reinforce that. And also, when you give the recognition, you are creating a culture of celebration and allowing that recognition to really make it personal to that employee. And that is probably one of the biggest advantages, because by doing that, you're really engaging that employee and creating a lot of loyalty back to the organization by doing that. Some things that you really want to make sure of is that you're being very equitable throughout your department or throughout the organization, and that you are not creating a situation where you are giving it too often. You want to be careful of that, because then it starts to lose its meaning, or you don't want to give it to one person too often, because then you have equity issues and you have other issues then going on in your organization. I think one of the really important things is that you want to create a memory for that individual, because the employee is not necessarily even going to remember down the road what that award may have been, or even what you may have said to that employee, but they're really going to remember how that award made them feel, and that's really important.
We all like to be validated, right? In
Absolutely.
Our actions and the time we spend at work, and we want to know that it matters and it means something and it's acknowledged.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rose. For World at Work TV, I'm Allison Avalos.